Kick us off. There's 5 of us today with Kevbo.
My good is the decisions that were made by a man that Chase Daniel likes to call Eber, Coach Eberflus. His decision, first of all, to play his starters. We learned that last Thursday. But his decision on Saturday after 3 unsatisfying 3-and-out drives, his decision to send his offensive guys back out there, that's the type of decision-making that I want to see from my head coach. It made sense to me. I was thrilled. I didn't see it live. Well, I did see it live because I was on the golf course, but then I watched it again. And tip of the cap to Matt Eberflus and his decision and his willingness to be flexible with decision-making. Good job, Coach.
I thought it was great. It was... Again, we would have raged if they would have sat him down after those first 3, and they would have gone 3-and-out, 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 and they would have said to us,
what would have happened? I don't know if we would have raged. People would have said, you would have gotten even more people saying, oh, he's not that good. He's not that good. I mean, you know how people vacillate.
Sure, they would have said that, but for me, it was an obvious move, and sometimes the obvious is worth applauding.
Amen.
Because sometimes they don't make the obvious move. Because they needed more work, and I hate when they say, well, that's the plan. We can't veer from the plan. Yes, you can. And great job, Matt Eberflus. That's worth pointing out. My good, I don't know if you guys saw this in the preseason game with the Chiefs. The Bears play the Chiefs, but I don't expect really the starters to play. Patrick Mahomes, did you see his behind-the-back pass?
I did. It's my dirty.
He had it too, so we could co-sign this.
Yeah.
He had this to Kelce, but what I like even better than the pass was his explanation. This was his explanation as to why he decided to throw a behind-the-scenes pass to Travis Kelce.
Travis didn't run the route he was supposed to run, and then it was kind of a behind-the-back pass, kind of because I was mad. I was pissed off at Travis. He was supposed to run a flat route. I don't know if you can hear me on the broadcast. I'm yelling at him, and then he doesn't run it. So out of spite, I do a behind-the-back pass, but now it's going to be a highlight. Can't be planned. It's got to be just naturally happening kind of in the groove of things. And so it wasn't like I planned that at all, or it wasn't a called play. It just kind of happened.
Do you know how you know you're great and that your team is great and that the guy you're throwing to is great? Is that when he F's up and you're mad at him, you decide to throw the ball behind the back and he catches it and it looks awesome, but you're just doing it out of spite. That's when you know things are good with your football team.
Yeah, my interpretation when I saw the highlight was these guys are just pimping it because that shovel pass is something they do all the time, but Mahomes just wanted to put a little extra sizzle on it. I didn't know that it was a mistake by Kelce.
Yeah, that's what I love the most out of it, and that's my good. What do you got, Miller?
So my good goes out to a guy who nabbed his first couple of saves for the Dodgers this weekend. Seems to have taken a liking to his new home in L.A. One man, Mr. Michael Copech, who has now gone 9 1/3 innings for the Dodgers since his trade from the White Sox. He's struck out 13 hitters in those 9+ innings. He's given up 1 hit. He's only walked 1 with an ERA of 0 and a whip of .214. Looks like this arm might be one that could be closing games out in October for the Dodgers.
What's the difference? Is it just because he got out of here? Did the Dodgers tweak something that their scouting staff tends to do? What's the difference?
Let's not harp on the negative, Sylvie. That's something we want to do for the bad. But for the good, Michael Copech doing a good job pitching for the Dodgers these days.
Okay, good. Tyler, you're good?
My good is Hideki Matsuyama. He won the first leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs at St. Jude Championships. And this came on the heels of him, his coach, and his caddy all being robbed as they were coming back from the Olympics in London, which forced him to be without his usual caddy. He had a substitute caddy because one of the things that his caddy was robbed of was his passport, so he could not get to the United States. And Hideki Matsuyama, he blew a 5-shot lead, but he ended up rallying back on that final Sunday to capture the first leg.
Very good. And Tyler's the host of the golf show.
Well done.
What do you got, Kebbo?
Well, I had to improvise on the fly here because Meller stole mine. Thank you very much, Jeff. So I'll go with something you mentioned before the break, Waddle. Kirk Cousins' birthday practice playlist.
So funny.
Kirk Cousins and I are around a similar age. He's a very wealthy man. I'm sitting here with you guys at Hallis Hall today. But he's got
The experience is rich for you.
No,
Come on,
I
hanging
just
out
told
with
you
us.
I like
Yeah.
coming out here.
Yeah.
I'm just breaking balls. Blink-182, Good Charlotte, The Killers, Foo Fighters, Three Doors Down, Yellow Card. This is all music Kirk Cousins and I would have been listening to had we gone to the same high school. I know we like to have fun with old Kirk Cousins, but good on him for a fun little playlist for older millennials such
It's
as
so
myself.
funny.
and
I
him.
haven't heard that Good Charlotte song in so long until this past weekend. And sure enough, like a day or two later, because we used that at ESPN 1000 like in 05 or something as the White Sox theme, as the bet,
Yeah,
their music bet.
that was in a Madden soundtrack from the early aughts, so I'm sure Kirk was probably getting his reps in back then.
All right, Waddle, what's your bad?
My bad is your Cubs offense. They had a chance to sweep the Blue Jays. They got shut out for the 5th time since the All-Star break. They've been shut out 5 times since the All-Star break. They got 4 hits against Cy Freight, whatever his name is. He's carrying around a 4.9 something ERA before this start. How in the world do you get shut out by that dude as you're trying to sweep the Blue Jays and try to find a spot into the wild card chase?
No, Waddle,
What kind of crap is that?
it's what I've mentioned about why I don't believe in this team. They took 2 out of 3 from Toronto, so a lot of people view it, well, look, you win series. Like, I think they're past the point of just winning series. They need a win streak. But Friday, they gave up a 5-2 lead because your closer can't close. Sunday, you got shut out again. So, like, in 2 out of the 3 games, you looked really bad. So I don't look at this team at all and say this is a team that passes the eye test as a contender to me. You could fool around and go day to day.
Fool around and find out.
I found out mid-June that this team just ain't it. There's still 5.5 games out of the last wild card spot. And
They've been shut out 5 times since the All-Star break.
Yeah, and they have to jump Atlanta, the Mets, San Francisco, and St. Louis, and they're 5.5 games back. In the loss column, they are 6 games behind Atlanta.
Tigers coming to town for you. They're off tonight, but they get the Tigers tomorrow.
Yeah, they're coming out of Williamsport, aren't they? Weren't they playing in the Little League World Series?
They were indeed, Silvy, yes.
Jesse hosted Baseball Tonight last night, by the way.
Thought he was on
Great
vacation.
job. He came back from vacation and then did Baseball Tonight his first day back.
He's
Great.
the best.
He's the best. Bad on the Falcons. They'll find out. You fool around and find out.
Yeah.
The Falcons have just promoted Ryan Pace to VP of Football Operations Player Personnel. So anyone who thought he's just the coffee grabber for the Atlanta Falcons, they like what he's doing. They like.
You sure about that, Silvy? I thought he was promoted to head barista.
So it's VP of Football Baristing. But you know, he's a go-for-it guy, and they're doing Ryan Pace stuff. So Ryan Pace getting a promotion in Atlanta.
So he's a go-for-it, no longer a gopher for the Falcons.
Very good.
All right, so my bad. How about the fact that the White Sox once had a relief pitcher on their roster who could throw over 102 miles per hour, and the best they could get out of him was a 4.83 ERA with a 1.35 whip this season. He spent 5 years on their roster, and all they could get for him at the trade deadline was to add him as a throw-in as part of the Eric Fetty and Tommy Pham deal. Are you kidding me? It's awful what is going on right now. In retrospect, the fact that Michael Copech has absolutely unearthed every single piece of talent that he had in the Dodgers organization, and it took what? Less than a day? He hasn't given up a run!
At least the Sox got Miguel Vargas back, Miller.
You definitely farted, didn't you?
I didn't fart. What's
Boy,
going
it
on?
stinks in here, man. It does.
Got a shower?
I did
Is it my
shower. I
breath?
absolutely showered.
I don't know what it is, but it smells
I
like
don't know.
I haven't
These chicken
farted at
wraps.
all.
These
Did
chicken
you
wraps
smell
have been.
anything?
these chicken wraps been sitting here for a while.
Maybe that's...
They might be getting a little sweaty.
Yeah.
Hey, what is Meller? By the way, what is Eloy doing now? Is he still hitting the baseball?
He's slashing like 389 with a 4 something.
This is not a surprise. I think anyone with half a brain could have acknowledged that there was a decent chance that when
This
talented
good?
players, maybe not to this extreme, but talented players that leave a dreadful environment, there is a solid chance when they go to better organizations that the return may be better.
They really did get nothing for Copech.
I mean, do you think Luis Robert is this bad a baseball player?
Of course not. Luis Robert should be a superstar.
Right. And
They
when he
poisoned
goes
him.
somewhere,
Yeah.
he will be significantly better than what he's played
It's like-
over the last 50 games here.
Berto on the West Side in his original rant used poison. And that's what I keep thinking of. They have poisoned lots of players over there.
Like, if you're a team right now, wouldn't you buy low on Andrew Vaughn this offseason?
Yeah, sure. Like, because you get him for
No,
nothing.
I wouldn't.
But you'd get him for nothing.
I've
He's worth
seen
a
enough of Andrew Vaughn to know
You've
that he's
probably
not
seen
a
enough
major
of
league
Eloy,
player.
too.
No, I was
And
listen,
enough of Copech.
Tyler. You know how many White Sox games I've
Tyler.
watched over the last 3 seasons? Andrew Vaughn doesn't do one thing well.
For the White Sox.
That's right. I'm with you.
Tyler, are you up? Did you
I
go?
am up. I will
You're
branch
awake?
off of what Waddle had with the bad Cubs. Dansby Swanson on Sunday stranded the bases loaded and left a runner on second and left a runner on second again as the final out of the ball game. This is the guy who is one of your highest paid players in franchise history and cannot deliver in these big moments when you have a chance to go out and sweep a series and maybe creep your way back into this thing. But I am pretty steadfast that the Cubs are going to be the first team out of the playoffs.
You think so?
I think based on the schedule and the way that they're kind of like, they won a series. If you're winning series down the stretch, that'll be good enough to keep vaulting you up in the standings, especially when you look at some of the schedules that the rest of these teams play. I'm pretty confident they're going to be the number 1 team left out of the playoffs in the NL, and that's just going to make it even more frustrating.
They've been 5.5 back forever, though, Tyler. And
But they were
5.5
just
back.
like 3 or 4 back, or like 3 back, I think, or 2.5 maybe.
Go Cubs, go.
All right. What is your Kepo? You have your bad, and then we'll break. And
Yeah,
then we'll go
not
to the
only
dirty.
bad, but essentially Tua calling his former coach Brian Flores a terrible person in an interview with Dan Lebitard today. Tua said, "Put it in the simplest terms: if you woke up every morning I told you that you suck at what you do and that you don't belong doing what you do, you shouldn't be here. This guy shouldn't be here. You haven't earned that right." And then you have the exact opposite. You have encouragement for Mike McDaniel. It does not bode well for Brian Flores getting a head coaching job again anytime soon.
No, I think that was apparent when he was at one time. A lot of people thought he would, but then he didn't come close. Didn't he sue the league?
Yes.
And his bedside manner is not good. He may be a real good defensive coordinator, and he could be a really bright coach, but I don't think that he's got the temperament. And that's what we had heard. That's what we'd heard before. So, all right, there you go. That's the good and the bad. We'll get to the dirties all coming up next.
My dirty was just I co-signed whoever had the backward lateral from Patrick Mahomes. That was filthy. That was so much fun to watch. I hope he does it in the regular season too.
If he gets pissed at
Yeah.
Kelce, he may. Meller, what's your dirty?
Not sure if you guys caught this over the weekend, but Michael Copech threw the hardest pitch of his career, boys, clocking in at 102.6, which rounded up to 103. So he hit the radar at 103 on the television sets. Not too shabby from a guy who's got a lightning bolt for an arm.
Yeah.
Is he? I mean, he's throwing the fastball, right, Jeff? But what else?
He's also incorporated the slider a lot more often than he has in the past. So that tweak has seemed to help him out to the point where he hasn't allowed any earned runs.
Yeah, well,
over
maybe
9 1/3 innings. Now.
Maybe is that a pitching coach thing?
It's the Mark Pryor effect is what it is.
Oh, that's right, Capo. Very good. We had Pryor on this year.
Or maybe it's just getting the hell out of the South Side.
Who could say?
Who can say?
Yeah.
Awesome today. Tyler, go ahead.
My dirty is the Orioles fan who went full Dennis Rodman on Zach Hampel, who is better known as the foul ball guy who steals foul balls from little kids. He went out of his way to basically box this dude out, this Orioles fan, so that he would not get the Adley Rutschman home run ball. Fantastic work. American hero. Love this guy.
See, when you said went full Dennis Rodman, that opened Pandora's box as to I didn't know what you meant. I didn't know if it was, like you said, the box out. I thought it could have been a headbutt. It could have been a kick in the groin. Like, there could have been a lot of
There may have been a kick in the groin.
Yeah, they're like, I didn't know where you were going, so it was just a box out, though.
Yes, just kind of like impeded his path to the ball.
Kick in the groin would have been well-deserved for that guy, though, as far as I'm
true.
concerned. All right, I'll close it out here. The White Sox officially eliminated from playoff contention. The dream is over for the 2024 Southsiders. This is the earliest mathematical elimination from postseason contention during the wild card era back, and that started in 1969. Well, the divisional era started in 69, but either way, earliest that's ever happened. They are on pace to set the all-time loss record with 123. That's what they're on pace for. Also, on
be a
pace
quick turnaround, Kev.
and on pace to set the worst winning percentage in modern history. It is just 24.2 as we sit here today.
They're pacing for 39 wins, guys. They can't even hit 40 at this pace.
It is incredible to look at those standings and to see 30 and 95 next to each other. Again, it looks fake. It looks like that's a typo.
They've had two of the 40 longest losing streaks in modern MLB history, both coming this year. And they got the 10th pick in the
It's going to be a quick turnaround.
And have you heard
Kev.
about that Michael Copech in L.A.?
I hadn't actually. Mellor, do you have anything for us?
I hadn't heard about that. If they catch a heater and they finish if they go 17 and 18 in their last 35 games, they still won't win 50.
Can you? I mean, I can't even fathom in a scenario where they would win 17 of their last 35 games. Like,